Oh, huh. Hey, excuse me. Hi, I'm Bill Allred, and welcome to Indie Popcorn. Now, the writers have been trying out some new jokes that they would like me to open the show with, so let me test these out, all right? Indie Popcorn, your source for independent cinema and other chocolatey chunks of knowledge that sticks all over your hand so that you have to lick it off. Come on, guys. Really? All right. Okay, here's another one. Your source of news for independent cinema and other fluffy, starchy bites of learning. That's just terrible. Well, we'll work on it. Here's the show. Yesterday was the final day of this year's Edinburgh Film Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland. Films featured at the festival included Last Days of the Desert, Rodrigo Garcia's 2014 film starring Ewan McGregor as Jesus Christ, and Pixar's Inside Out, directed by Peter Docter. Yes, you heard me. This week's independent news is about a movie from a year ago and one from the billion-dollar Pixar studio. We filmed this thing 2 weeks in advance, so what are you going to do? Speaking of 2 weeks in advance, a new trailer to Antoine Fuqua's new drama Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as Billy Hope, was released 2 weeks ago. The part was originally written for Eminem, who decided to drop out to focus on his music. Hopefully, Gyllenhaal can lose himself in the part. You get it? It's an Eminem reference. Lose himself. It's one of his songs. It won an Oscar! Anyway, earlier this month, the film Grandma premiered at the Los Angeles Film Festival. It stars Lily Tomlin in her first starring role, I should say, since 1988's Big Business. But all you kids out there might know her from her small part in the classic 2009 film, The Pink Panther 2. God, I'm starting to hate myself. Speaking of things that haven't been relevant in 30 years, let's move on to our ongoing segment, This Week in Film History. This week marks the 20th anniversary of the film Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard and starring Tom Hanks. Speaking of anniversaries, this week also marks the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. Great Scott! Suck on that, Apollo 13. And you know what? Big deal, Back to the Future. Surely you can do better than that. This week is also the 35th anniversary of Airplane. Yeah, I'm serious. And don't call me Shirley. This week, as part of our summer late night series at the Tower Theater, we'll be screening a different classic film. This July 3rd through the 5th, we'll be screening A Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Selick. Not Tim Burton, like you thought. Here's a clip.
And since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations.
Oh, and speaking of Shakespearean quotations, on July 4th at the Broadway, a live broadcast of accomplished screenwriter William Shakespeare's A Comedy of Errors will be performed at the Globe Theatre in London. It'll be interesting to see what a man behind such great films as West Side Story, Gil Younger's classic 10 Things I Hate About You, and The Lion King can really do when he makes the transition from the silver screen to the stage. All right, that's it for today's episode of Indie Popcorn, your source for news of independent cinema and other large tubs of layered knowledge. Really? Come on, you guys aren't even trying. You gotta write me some better stuff here, okay? Okay? Make sure you subscribe, like, follow, however you do it, and comment for more Indie Popcorn. That's it. Good afternoon, good evening, and and good night.